Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Malky here for Fired Up. We have a special one today, but it is Thursday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, Lisa. Right after this, we're going to the bar. We're getting green beer, and we're taking green shots, and it's gonna get crazy. So, and hopefully we'll run into some leprechauns because Lisa's scared of leprechauns.
I am horrified of leprechauns.
So we'll talk more St. Patrick's Day later. This is a special one. If you've been following along and you're ready to you hit the reminder button on this. We have one of the big time speakers for FedCon with us today, and he's a Jersey guy like me, which is cool. So we'll talk a little bit about things going on in the real estate world, FedCon, branding, marketing, all kinds of different things. I'm going to let him introduce himself to you all. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in Mr. Ed Stulak.
Yo, what's going on?
What's going on, man?
Oh, man, so much. It's St. Patrick's Day. I'm hoping to join you guys with those green shots as well. All is going on. Oh, man, I'm stoked. I'm glad. This was a cool little intro. I'm definitely fired up and ready to chat. So
yes.
Let's go, dude.
Let's do it. So for everyone watching, give a little quick bio on who you are and what you do.
Cool. My name is Ed Stulak. I am a real estate agent out here in New Jersey in the 732. And I am also a personal branding strategist for real estate professionals worldwide. So, but not just for realtors. I have doctors, I have musicians, I have mechanics. I mean, you name it. Everyone is looking for some sort of personal brand in today's world. That's what I'm definitely hoping to be talking about today on today's chat, and also our FedCon event we got coming up. So just important things that people that people neglect. So we're gonna bring it out of them today.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I think they're very neglectful on what the opportunities could be if they actually really dove in and made this part of their business strategy on a day-to-day. So we'll talk about that. I'm curious. Listen, real estate is on fire right now. I know I don't know if it's a buyer's market, really. It's probably more of a seller's market, but you tell me. Let's talk a little bit of real estate because I know people are out there. We're all in real estate to an extent. What's going on?
It's definitely that seller's market that you're touching on. Sellers are getting crazy offers on their house right now. Rates are low. Mortgage rates are low. So buyers are everywhere. Every single corner you turn, there's a buyer there. And they're taking advantage of these rates, which means that there's a lot of buyers for one house. So I'm sure some people have seen the TikToks of these crazy open houses that have lines to the next neighborhood over. And that's true. That's how it's looking right now. There's very low inventory, a lot of buyers. So it's definitely a seller's market. So those that are looking to sell, now is probably the best time to say that. And that is not me just putting my real estate hat on and saying, give me your business. That is me saying this is the best time to sell your house. I don't think this market will ever be like it is right now. Again, not in our lifetime.
Because I don't know. I would like to sell my house because I'm not going to stay in this house here. I'm in Bayonne 201, but I don't think I could sell right now. I can't. I'm too close to the office. I live across the street from the office.
You can't sell that. That's valuable right there for you, dude. You gotta stay.
Can't beat that.
Well, Rich, you actually just sold 3 houses.
So, Ed, check this out. So before you called, I got these telemarketers call me, and I'm always in the office with Lisa when that happens for some reason, and I always pick up, and I give them a new accent. So today I was like Texas. I was like, "How you doing, honey?" I just sold someone's houses in Missouri. She says to me, "Mr. Richard," I said, "Yes." She goes, "Oh, well, we're calling about this house in Missouri, 813 Morning Drive or whatever it was." I said, "Oh, that's one of my favorite properties." She said, "How much do you want for that?" I said, "Well, it could be anywhere from 150 to 6." I said, I got to think about this." So she was naming all kinds of properties. I scheduled a meeting with her boss. I don't.
Wow, this is amazing. So you're selling. Well, that's good. You're taking advantage of the market, dude. That's how it should be.
Yeah. So I just made somebody either 150,000 or 600,000. I don't know.
And it was funny because I actually ended up Zillowing homes in Missouri, and he wasn't too far off. It was like $199 for some homes on this random street that they kept mentioning.
All right, Rich knows his real estate market.
Yeah, apparently. So, But listen, we'll keep this thing moving. Because I really wanted to talk about branding. You know, when I go out to these conferences in our industry, you know, people are kind of, they're either nervous to start, they're kind of curious as to why they even need to. And you know, we talk about, you know, being your brand and being, you know, it's not just about your company and your business that you're promoting. It's about promoting yourself and who you are and what you do. Let's talk a little bit about, you know, what the importance is of being your own brand.
You know, this sounds corny, but it does stem off of the passion aspect. If you're not passionate about the stuff that you do every single day, then the person that you portray yourself to be online is going to be faked. It's not going to be authentic. It's going to be, it's inauthentic. You can just sense the false spread of the content that is being posted. If you're not true to yourself because you're trying to compare yourself to someone else, like, oh, I see that person, they're doing it super well. They have a great business model. They have this, they have that, they have a team, they have a system, and I want to be that. And then you try to push that, but it doesn't work for you. It's not going to work in the long run. And your inconsistency is going to show very vividly. People are going to detect very simply that you're fake. You're not really true to who you are. So that's why reversing back for a second, it does stem off of what you're passionate about. Personally, right? When it comes to me, I've identified that there are very specific things in my life that I love to talk about. I'll talk about it all day long. I'll have a great smile on my face, and the person I'm speaking with will smile just like you are right now, baby. I love it, right? It's all that stuff. And I love talking about branding, social media, real estate, whiskey, hockey. That's my stuff right there. Everything I just named. Watches. I love watches. I love suits. That's just who I am.
Yeah, and I see you skiing. I see you skiing too.
I ski now. I started 3 years ago. It's been what a blast. I love it. Going up on the slopes and just being up there and having that fresh air hit me in the face. Man, I love it. So that's stuff that I personally will talk about all day long. And if my clients resonate with it, they will talk to me even more on a bigger scale outside of just real estate and business. I will start to actually develop a relationship with my clients, which real estate is all about relationships. So that's what I'm really pushing here for, is connecting with my clients on a deeper level. And then number two is just, again, I don't have to try to do and portray myself to be who I truly am. It's easy. It's like the back of my hand. I just know it. I can talk about it all day long. It's me. So that's what people really need to figure out, is what is it that you're actually truly passionate about. If it's your family, talk about your family. If it's your kids, mention your kids. I always tell, I have a story. This mortgage guy came up to me, and it was a networking event, okay? And he's like, Ed, I follow you on Instagram. I need help with my brand, man. Like, I need to do what you're doing. Again, he was trying to compare. I'm like, listen, there's no need to compare. Let's break it down for a second. So what are you passionate about? What do you love to talk about? Long story short, he immediately, without any sort of hesitation, said, my 2 little girls. Like, dude, that's awesome. Like, you love your little girls. Why don't you put them more into your social media content? Why don't you talk about them? He's like, I do, but I guess not enough. And every time I do talk about it, it's so easy and I want to post about it. I'm like, that's what you should post about. And now, long story short, his username is the Mortgage Daddy. He shows himself as the dad. He loves his brand. That's just who he is. And people resonate with that. Dude, I get chills down my spine every time I talk about it. He doesn't have to force himself now to go on social media, personally brand himself, because it's him. It's who he is. If you don't like it, walk away. If you love it, please join me and be a part of my team. Be a part of my community. Be a part of my support system.
That is a perfect story for this audience.
Absolutely.
To understand.
I was actually just thinking, I wonder if there's anyone out there that resonates with Kitchen Daddy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, someone might steal that. That's up for grabs. I mean, you might have like a, kitchen tech daddy, right? Like it could be anything like that. Service manager daddy. And, it could be anything like that. We're obviously we're on the daddy. I am your dad. It could be anything you want. And to play on this, so Nick Cribb, who is president down at Sam Service and one of our keynote speakers as well, down in FedCon, we were at Cefesa conference together, the Commercial Food Equipment Service Association, for those who don't know, back in October, and I did a talk on stage with Josh Zolan, and we were doing Q&A, and Nick was like, listen, Rich, man, I love what you're doing. I don't want to do any of that. I don't want to be the face of the company. I don't want any of that. I don't want any of that. But I want to brand Sam Service. Can I be successful behind the scenes doing what I'm doing? And I told him, listen, there's all kinds of different ways to be successful at it, obviously. But it's still, for me, when I answered it to him, I said, you still have to connect with people. People aren't going to connect with a van and a logo. So I don't know if you have anything off the top of your head. If they don't, if say I'm here and I don't want to be the face, I don't want to be doing podcasts and going live and doing all this stuff, but I want to blow my business up. Is it possible? And is it possible to connect on that level?
100% it is. Of course it is, because there's so many, even students of mine, real estate professionals I speak with on a daily basis, and some of them just do not want to put their face out there or their voice out there. And honestly, it's a little tough not to do that in my industry. Real estate, you gotta, people know your name. People know a face to that name. People know how it sounds, hopefully, and they want to contact that person. So if I know that there's no face, no voice to that name, why would I call it? So then, hence, no business. We're always on the billboards. We're on benches outside, on the bus benches. We're everywhere. So why you wouldn't want to show your face and your name and get that exposure baffles me. But there are some people for that. That's fine, and we work around it. So my best advice for that is, if you see another entity, another company doing it, there are so many companies out there that have been doing it. It's not like we're recreating the wheel here with branding. It's not like branding is a conversation that just hit 2020 chart. Right. This has been since God, even know 1500s. People have been branding. Pablo Picasso was branding himself. Everyone has that brand. So it's always been something of that sort. Jason Hartman, I'm seeing introvert marketing. That's really what it comes down to. People see themselves like introverts in that sense, and they don't know how to expose themselves. So instead, they have a logo, or they have a company logo, company name, in that sense, that they push out there. And honestly, my advice to those that are afraid, I guess, to pull the trigger and take that extra step for themselves, is see what other companies are doing and just pretty much mimic what they are doing. Because don't overthink it too much. Push that name, push that brand out there. Maybe have a representative on behalf of you if you want to, but there should be a name. Reason why I say this, because if we pull up analytics for a second, let's get a little analytical here, logistical, okay?
Okay.
We're gonna pull a name like Kylie Jenner. We know that name. We don't have to be in the fashion world or in the celebrity world to know that name. We just know it. Kylie Jenner. Who else is there? Elon Musk. LeBron James. Just some names. Puff Diddy. P Diddy. Right. Of
course. These
people that I'm naming right now, they also have businesses. Elon has Tesla. LeBron has Lakers. Right. What else is there? Kylie Jenner has Kylie Cosmetics. I bring these people up because these are names that everyone knows worldwide. Now, if we pull them apart, we pull their personal brand apart from the company name, we're going to see two differentiation factors here. If we pull up Kylie Jenner's social media presence, we're going to see she has over 200 plus million followers. If we pull up her Kylie Cosmetics, her company that she created, it's hers, right? She created it. If we look up that social media, 20 million, maybe. It's a huge factor that's very different. I could do this with Elon Musk and Tesla. I could do this with LeBron James and Lakers. I could do this with 10,000 other names, because people follow the personal brand. It always comes down to that. And as long as the voice signifies the importance of working with that company or buying that product, people will listen, because it's coming from the person itself, that person's voice. So that's why I can't stress enough how important it is to be a personal brand, as opposed to focusing on your company brand. You want business, you want exposure, it comes from the personal brand. It really does.
Man, it does. And you know what, now that you're saying that, obviously that you look at that on a large scale, and it's true. Like, you think about that. When you go look in people's businesses, it's always, the person's got the big following in those businesses. I mean, it's great because what they've done has connected themselves to their business, and now they have that. Now Kylie has that 20 million because she's connected. She's building it. If you look at me on a smaller scale, like LinkedIn, you see almost like 10,000 versus Malachi, like 700. It's true. I mean, people want to want to talk to the people. They want to see what the person is doing connected to that brand. That's
Absolutely.
great. That's great advice.
Let me just bring in
Yeah.
Jason's first question for you, Ed. He goes. So Jason is our master commenter, by the way. He's an awesome engager. And so he asks, Ed, how do you define branding? How does it relate to a business strategy, or how does it differ?
In terms of relation, it's a component, it's a variable of the business strategy. My business is doing well, and it's increasing, and it's evolving because of the brand that I've built around it. This is my team name. This is my team logo, Orbis Group, right? That's my team within real estate. However, my personal name, Ed Stulak, is what people know. People know Ed Stulak for the whiskey, for the hockey, for the skiing, for the clothes that I wear, the watches that I wear, all that stuff. People know me for that. That is what attracts those people to come to me and start up a conversation. That conversation eventually funnels down into, well, are you looking to buy or sell real estate? And then eventually, out of the 10 people that I speak with, hopefully one of them says, well, yeah, I am. And then, of course, that funnels down into the business strategy, and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
The brand, again, is just throwing the bait into the water to see who bites. Who's going to bite? And once they bite, you got to reel it in. You got to reel it in a very strategic way. So honestly, the brand is a variable to the formula of my business strategy. That's just me, though. Because what I always say is, well, I don't like chasing business. I don't think anyone likes chasing business.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's amazing when this thing rings and someone says, I saw you on social, or my buddy told me how amazing of a job you provided. That right there is so much better than me picking up the phone and being one of those telemarketers saying, if you want to sell your house in Missouri,
Call me.
Right. Like, that is so much better for me to go ahead and take that call as opposed to me making it. Business chasing me as opposed to me chasing business is my business strategy, but it stems off of the brand. That's the foundation. So
yeah. Great answer. And we were talking yesterday about selling tickets to FedCon, and my sister was like, "Are you cold calling? Are you picking up the phone and calling people?" And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to pick up the phone and cold call. I'm like, we're pumping content out. We're pumping this stuff out. Listen, and the messages that are coming in, just today we had someone come, hey, Rich, FedCon came across my lap here and started watching and following, and through the content, people are finding us. And that's, like you said, there's nothing better than that. And then for the business side of it too, like with Malachi, I mean, people are calling me going, hey, Rich, listen, I've been watching your videos. I love what you're doing with the site survey thing, all this stuff. Listen, can you guys do an install for me down here in Mercer County? I'm like, yeah, we could do it. We got you. Those are the best things. And they're all attached to what we're doing here every day. The stuff that we preach, practitioners of it all. And it's real. So, I wanted to segue into all this stuff that we're talking about is work, right? I mean, there's no denying. I mean, this takes hours and dedication, and the fortune is always in the follow-up, right? We're following up on messages and answering and engaging. This takes time. How do you do it all? That's what I want to ask you. I want the audience here to understand, because I get that all the time. Rich, do you sleep? Do you even who's running Malachi? Do you even know your business? Yes, of course. We all get 24 hours, and it's what you do with them. You have to make a priority. But so how do you do it all, from finding time to, to go skiing, to drink the whiskey, to selling real estate, doing TikToks,
creating TikToks.
Yeah. What's is there a secret?
Honestly, it's not too much of a secret. It's where my priorities lie. Many people prioritize very poorly. They put other things ahead of other things that just should not be put ahead of other things, honestly. So
true.
So when I see someone that says, Ed, I don't have time for the social media, it's not that you don't have time, it's you don't have the passion to want to do it because you haven't found the right system to perform it. Putting social media into your calendar is a to-do list. It's a chore. I have to do it because it's what's working today. No, it's not that. If you figure out a formula for yourself, if you figure out a calendar day that just works for you, If you have a social media power hour that you want to integrate into your Monday mornings, then that's what you do. But if you're a very creative folk like myself, where I see an idea and I'm like, "Ooh, hold on, everything is on pause right now. I don't care what's happening. I have an idea. I need to recreate it right now. Save it, screenshot it, mimic it real quick, and I'll save it for another day when I have time to go ahead and create it." Sometimes I actually have the time to create it there and then on the spot. I was just in Colorado the other day. I was skiing with a bunch of my teammates, and a lot of them very similar thing. We were just talking about this thing. How do you create the content? Like, how do you have time for this stuff? In front of them, I created content. I said, guys, let me show you from A to Z how I find content, how I find the inspiration, how I create it, how I edit it, how I post it. And I did the whole thing right in front of them. It took me 8 minutes, I think, to do. I went.
Is at FedCon too at your workshop?
I will definitely be doing this because I think it's super helpful. People don't understand that it is actually simple, but people have not put in a decade of energy, experience, of fault trials and errors like I have. I've been doing this since 2012. Like, I have an idea now how to create content and whatnot. Can it improve? Hell yeah, it can improve. There's always improvement and evolution. But I went on TikTok. I found a video, heard the sound, saw the concept. I said, I can recreate this. I took it. I mimicked it real quick. I used my tripod, which was, I think, just like a water bottle real quick. And I put up my phone and then I filmed myself. I danced. I tried to voice over. It didn't work out. I messed up once. I messed up twice. Fourth time, I finally got it. I edited it real quick and I was playing around with words. I created a caption. I posted it. It took me 8 minutes to do. I'm not saying that that's going to take people 8 minutes to create content. However, that is my system now, and I know it to a T. So I know I find inspiration when I consume content because ideas just smack me in the face. And I'm like, oh, that's a good one. I'm taking that, recreating it, and doing my own version. And then I go and throw that out there. And people are like, Ed, that's an amazing idea. How did you think of it? I didn't think of it. I saw someone else create something similar to it, and I just kind of put my own ingredient into it to make my own recipe. So that's just how that works. But the point of this all, to answer the true question here, because I don't want to go all too off topic, is honestly, it comes down to figuring out a system for yourself and a formula that actually makes you happy to want to post. Don't make social media a chore. Make it something that is a part of your business strategy, as Mr. Jason Hartman mentioned before. What is the strategy? The business strategy, the prospecting, the advertising, the branding, that all lies down into me pulling this thing out, clicking that red button that says record, and just going at it. And I know if I invest my next 30 minutes into creating that one piece of content, or 3 or 2, is going to do me so well. It's going to get me potentially thousands of views, potentially hundreds of comments, potentially a few conversations that funnel down into business. So those that look at social media like a chore, I don't think they look at it that way that I just drew here for us. Is this whole funnel. It goes from content to this, to conversations, to that, to now business. And let's shake the hand and give me my money. Right? That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. And there is time. And you know, as you're talking, I was thinking back to myself when I first, I guess 6 years ago, I found Gary V, and I'm watching him, and I'm saying to myself, I don't have time to do this. I was, in the service seat upstairs at the time, moving technicians. I'm like, when am I going to do this? And then I saw a video with Gary, and he was like, Pete 1969 told me he doesn't have any freaking time to do stuff. Well, I went on Twitter and I saw he was watching, he binge watched House of Cards. Then he played 4 hours of Call of Duty. Then he went outside and kicked the can. Then, he was making all these different things. He's like, you have time. You just don't have it prioritized. And then you want to sit there and go, oh, well, I put up a post 3 years ago and it didn't work. So, it's exactly that.
You're telling me that I answered exactly like Gary V? Oh my God, that's a
there you go. Yeah, I mean, and it's just spot on because, man, like you said, it's a business at the end of the day. People are like, oh, hey, you're having fun making videos, and my answer is, yeah, I am having fun. I enjoy doing this because I know that at the end of the day, there's value behind what I've just done. And there's something that I might have piqued one person's interest that day. And that's all that matters. And then 3 weeks from now, there's another person. And then 4 weeks, it's another person. And people are getting caught up in the numbers, and they're getting caught up on the likes and focusing on the audience, putting in the time. Like, man, it's it's helped me grow this business. It's helped me hire new technicians. It's helping to build everything around me. All of this, it's real.
Agreed. People want to be a part of a journey, a part of an experience. There, you know, I was on another podcast the other day with my buddy John, and John was mentioning to me that he was in Paris, and there was a chocolate shop there. I don't know if you heard this story before, but I think I've heard it someone before as well. He went personally to Paris on a honeymoon with his wife, and they went to this little chocolate shop. And in the chocolate shop, there were this type of chocolate, that one, $5, $7, and then there was one for $100. It was a little piece like this, $100 for a little piece of chocolate. And he came up to the guy and the rep, and he said, "Hey, why 100? That's a little expensive." And he said, "Well, it's the experience, because honestly, it's not the taste that is worth the million. It's the whole presentation. And the presentation, just like when we open up an Apple box for the Apple iPhone, it's that presentation. It feels luxurious, the matte feel, and you open it and you get your new phone and it's all shiny. Then you like that presentation is what was worth that $100. So it's, again, the brand. The brand comes from that.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense too. We have a couple of people chiming in. We'll just jump in with those.
Yeah.
So Ben Cologne says, very true. I do the same. He also says, including when something negative happens, I use that too. Like my van broke down in South Carolina, but I still did the job on time. So he's talking about how he shares his journeys, his personal, himself.
Yeah, and Ben does that. So he's with PKI Group down in Florida, and he's pumping out a lot of content. And he's doing TikToks, he's doing everything, and yeah, he's sharing all these things along the journey that make him human. That's like, oh my God, that happened to me 2 weeks ago. Oh my God, Ben, what? These are the things that connect us.
The authenticity, the vulnerability, things that people can resonate with. Those that are out there constantly shining their pretty what is it, accolades and rewards and medals that they've won is nice and dandy. It blows up your ego, and people will send you fake congratulations comments. But those people that really talk about their losses and all that stuff and really can resonate with you, because everyone loses, man. Everyone loses, and it's a very normal thing, but people do not acknowledge it enough. So yeah, Ben, I applaud you. You talk about that, how you had a rough day, what it may be, but you still got the job done somehow in some shape or form. Shows people that, damn, like that's a real person. This is not a fake person behind a phone that's typing this up. They're real.
They're real. And that just reminds me of I don't know if you were with me at this time, but I screwed up measuring for an installation it was a refrigerator, and I didn't do my due diligence, and we ordered something and it wasn't right. And I kind of showed the whole thing on a video. And that was one of my biggest, the most engagement I think I've ever had on a video on actual YouTube.
Unreal. Your mess ups get you the most. Well, go figure.
Yeah. I was like, geez, they're like, Rich, we love that you're showing this because this happens to us all the time and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I screwed up, and I'll tell you what, I'm not going to do it again, but here's the whole video and the breakdown of it.
Or you might do it again to get more engagement.
I might do that actually today. Let's order a $20,000 oven incorrectly.
There you go. Now we're talking.
So one more comment before we move on. So Jason's going back on the personalities. He says those named personalities are normally the CEO or owner. How often is that face not the owner, or is it paramount that the branding starts from the top?
Interesting. Okay, so those name personalities that we were talking about before, Kylie Jenner, LeBron James, P. Diddy, and all those, or how often is it that face is not the owner? Listen, there are many instances where there is someone behind the very reputable company. I can't think of anyone at the top of my mind because I don't know them. Honestly, I don't know them. I don't know personally who is the owner of I don't know, Avita, for example, the soap company, right? The beauty, like, I don't know who the owner is of that. PlayStation, I personally don't know who the owner is of that either. But yet we know these companies because we use them so every single day. These are household name items. So I'm not saying it's impossible, of course, to grow a brand or a company without throwing a face on there. Of course, it's possible. Anything is. However, the easiest way that I've personally found it to be is that if a personal brand is attached to it, that personal brand says something and people talk, and it comes down to the whole when Elon Musk threw that rock at the Cybertruck, right? Like, boy, that was a fun day. He said, "Yo, yeah, it's indestructible. Throws the rock, window breaks. Oh boy, everyone talks about it." You know, Tesla talking about it. Yeah, right. Like we can relate to it. Okay, that was a fuck up of his, but it was funny, right? We talked about it.
Yeah.
So that day, for example, like Elon's name. Oh man, that went worldwide. You know, Tesla talks about it. People are probably going to make fun of it, like, aha, well, you guys suck. You said that it's not going to break, and it broke. But it's the personal brand. Again, it came from Elon, and just everyone listened to it. Everyone talks about it until today. It's what, like 4 or 5 years later, and people still talk about it. So, I mean, I personally think that the better and easier way, from what I've personally come to experience-wise, the personal brand really helps a company grow even further.
Yeah, and I'll double down on that too, Jason. You know, talking about like from the CEO, from like, if we're talking like a business, like let's just talk like, you know, whether if let's talk about, I'll just talk about Maliki for what I know. Like, say I didn't really want to be that, you know, I think you could say, if it doesn't start from the top, I mean, I think it really should, and that person should be a part of it, but I don't know if they have to be the whole thing, especially if you have, like for us, we have technicians, we have like office staff, operations, people that are, you know, probably better than they think on camera. If we could just get those people to understand, like, hey, listen, let's put some of our employees to the front, let's put some of the technicians, let them be the advocates, and every once in a while I'll throw out a monthly or a quarterly thing as a CEO type thing. You know, you could really work the employees in. And what better way to build and grow a business just from having employees advocate for it? You know, so there's a lot of different ways that it could be done.
I know. Every time I feel like if a company is the one that is advertising, putting a sponsored ad out there, or if it's the actual company, like if I see a logo talking about something on a Facebook advertisement, I feel like I'm getting sold to immediately. I feel like I'm getting sold to, and I don't like to get sold to. I don't think anyone likes to get sold to.
No.
People want to buy. And then every time I see a personal brand talk about something, hence why this whole decade, or I guess you can say, or era of social media influencers, yeah, there's some sort of truth to that. There is an influence behind it. There's a reason why people like Kylie Jenner get paid $1 million by companies like Adidas to post one post on social media. That's ridiculous. 1.2 million from the last analytic that I heard. $1.2 million for one post.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It comes from the personal brand. They didn't ask the brand, the companies, to post that. They asked her name, the influence.
Yep.
Because the personal brand has that influence. And like you said, Maliki, it's who you are. People, I think more business comes to you because of the person that you've portrayed yourself to be. You're unique. You're different. You're evolutionary. That's what people love, to want to work with you for that, you know?
That's right. And you know, just and not to go back to Gary Vee, but and I'm not like a groupie or like, oh, I get crazy about celebrities like people do, like, and I really don't, but I thank Gary, because he really showed me a lot of different things early on, you know, those 6 years ago, to help me get to where, you know, my mindset is today. You know, and when he drops new sneakers, I get them. When he drops a new book, I get them. I just want to. I got all of his sneakers, and I don't even like K-Swiss. I do, and I wore them like twice, and that was it. And I got his books. I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, so you get behind people that you really, that inspire you, that you know, you can resonate with, and that maybe whatever it might be for you. But yeah, I mean, it's the person at the end of the day.
I was gonna
people
for I brought this up on a previous live stream. Duolingo, they have an incredible TikTok. And sure, they have a mascot, which is also one way to go about branding, is if you have a mascot, utilizing that to your advantage. But they don't just use the mascot. It's a lot of their employees that are on their TikTok. And the more and more you see these employees, I actually started recognizing them in their TikToks and stuff. And they don't do the same thing on TikTok that they do on Instagram. It's like purely TikTok challenges and all of that. So that's something for people to consider. For sure.
Oh yeah. Yes, that's true too. So obviously we're gonna see you at FedCon. We're gonna do some TikTok stuff, some real stuff. We're gonna get the people fired up on stage. You're gonna do some things. But before we take this one down, we grabbed some stuff from the pod deck, and we're gonna ask you some fun things to end it.
Let's go.
So the first question is, which brand or artist, dead or alive, would play at your funeral?
Oh,
Band.
Band, yes.
oh man. Good question. Oh, all right, all right. This is cool. What band, dead or alive, would play? Whew.
It's a tough one.
First person I can think of. Oh man.
It's tough. I know.
This is a tough one for sure.
This is how
Man,
people are going to remember you on the way out. What song? Every
you know
time they
what?
hear this song, they're going to think of you now.
I know. Damn, this is a tough one. You know what? I gotta be fired up. I'm gonna say like a DJ, like some sort of big EDM DJ. Just screw it. You know, play my
Okay.
favorite tunes that I've ever played, that I've ever jammed out to.
All right.
So yeah, something. Let's say you got like Tiesto.
Yeah.
A little
Right,
classic
that's
in
fine.
there.
You got it. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given? And while you think of that, I will just tell you that Dwight Schrute said the best piece of advice he ever got was, "Don't be an idiot."
Mm,
And now every time he's about to do something, he thinks to himself, "Would an idiot do that?" And
mm,
if he thinks that they would, he does not do that thing.
it's amazing.
That's
How's it
what I
working
thought
for
of
you?
when I heard this question.
My best advice I've ever been given
Yes.
is don't expect don't expect anything. I don't expect anything anymore. That big expectations sets you up for big failure, big disappointment as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't expect anything anymore.
Yeah. Just work. Work
Yeah,
for it.
yeah,
Yeah. No. Don't expect anything from anyone. Don't expect anything just do the work.
yeah, yeah. Can't rely on anyone. I rely on myself. Don't expect anything from anyone. Just do
Yeah.
work.
That's it. All right. So when you think about success, who comes to mind and why?
Success. I'm gonna have to give this shout out to my parents, mom and dad, and the reason why is because I've been the older I'm getting now, I'm seeing the struggles that they went through in their 20s. I'm 28. I just turned 28 in February, and I
Nice.
saw where they were in their 20s, 23, 25, 26, 28. And it's awesome to see how they've evolved, because we went from a one-bedroom apartment, 7 of us in a one-bedroom apartment when we initially came to America from Slovakia, to now they have, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. They have a nice backyard. Like that, when I look at that, from that, a 1-bedroom apartment, to this, like I just see that, yeah, to me that's success and it's inspiring. So
That's a great answer. So I'm not a big reader. I want to get more into reading, but what book belongs on everyone's shelf? I don't know if you're a reader.
4-Hour Work Week. That's right off the bat.
Is that
4-Hour Work
Tim
Week.
Ferriss?
It's Tim Ferriss.
Yeah.
Yes. Reason why I like that book, the point of it, and if no one's read it before, I'll read it now. But if you can't do something yourself, you automate it. If you cannot automate it, you delegate it. And if you cannot delegate it, eliminate it. That is the 4-Hour Work Week.
Okay. Wow.
Simple.
I gotta check that out. And I've heard of it before. I gotta check that out.
It has evolved my business like crazy. I highly recommend it.
Nice. All right. So everyone pay attention. Tim Ferriss, 4-Hour Work Week. And the last question is, which talent would you most like to have?
I want to play the drums. Dude, I think that would be so sick. Like I see some TikTokers on drums and they are going at it. I'm like, dude, that's sick.
Yeah,
So,
that's a freaking great answer too. I want to play the guitar. We could start a band.
Oh gosh.
Why not start a pretend band?
They're going to be a very beginner band. I mean,
And listen, and we'll take this thing to the top, double platinum.
That's right. We'll call it Fired Up, first album. What's up?
We'll have Kanye produce our first album.
We can do that.
Well, then you'll have to definitely talk to Mark Schulman at
That's right. That's right. Mark Schulman, Pink's drummer, is going to be there.
He's Pink's drummer.
Okay. Good to know.
Our opening keynote on the second day, first keynote.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. So, all right. Listen, Ed, we talked about a lot. I appreciate your time on this one, and we'll definitely do it again. So before we do go, though, where's everyone going to go find you right now?
Ed Stulak. See where my name's at? Where is it? Right there. Boom. Ed Stulak. So you can reach out to me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, wherever it might be. So Ed Stulak. You type it in, I'm popping up. It's a little blue, a little profile. It's all over the place. So
can't miss it. Can't miss it. All right, man. Listen,
Thanks,
we'll see you. We will
I'm
see
excited.
you. Yes, me too. We'll see you. We'll see you April 25th to 27th at FedCon. Ed's going to take the stage. We're going to be talking TikTok and Reels and some workshops. We're going to be doing some things. And until then, listen, happy St. Patrick's Day. And yeah, go have some beer.
Thanks
Oh,
so
I'm
much.
gonna have a green one. Thanks, guys, for having me on. I'll see you in AZ.
See ya.
See you. Thanks, Ed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Ed Stulak.
He's awesome.
He's a good dude, man. Young guy. Really, he just turned 28. And
We're gonna have a lot of young people in the building.
He's a guy. Listen, it's not about just the trades. These things that we're talking about can span across many different
Not
industries.
Just food equipment.
Right. It's HVAC, it's refrigeration, it's cooking, it's plumbing, it's electrical, it's carpentry, it's real estate, it's business, it's entrepreneur stuff. It's a lot of things. Janine is here. She's getting ready to go. But there's just, it doesn't end in just our realm. That's the beauty of what FedCon is. And we're going to continue to build and create the community, make it the melting pot that it's going to be, that already is. And listen, it would warm my heart on St. Patrick's Day. My last name, in case you didn't know, my actual last name is Farrell. Farrell.
Richard Farrell.
And I have lots of wait, that wasn't what am I saying? I always screw up the accents, but anyway, if I go back to the Irish brogue, I have lots of family from the mainland in Ireland. I've been to Dublin, flew to Dublin twice, Lisa.
Twice.
We have family. We have family in County Cork and in Shannon. So I would urge you to go get your tickets to FedCon and make my St. Patrick's Day the best one ever. If you've been waiting and holding back, I'm saying go do it today. Today's your lucky day. Go get those tickets to FedCon right now and see Ed. We're going to meet Ed. We're talking with him. So many more people like that are going to be in the building. Yeah. This is going to be a very, very, very inspiring 3 days that you're not going to want to miss. I promise you that. So, Lisa, anything else?
No, happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. Thank you for joining us. We will see you on the next Fired Up tomorrow, I hope.
Yes.
Absolutely. We'll see you then. Go have some green beer and make it count. See you mañana.